Hi everyone, welcome to this week's video. As you know, this month we've been everything property. Today I'm excited, we've got like a really good guest. We've got Diane Klem-Goode from Good Property Group. So,
hi Nathan, thank you for having me. It's an honour and a privilege.
Yeah, let's go, we're going to do it. Let's get into it. So welcome back to our video for today, and this week we're talking to Diane Klem-Goode from Good Property Group, and we're just going to walk through some real basics on buyers agents and just get to know a bit more about you, Diane. And but to start off with, a buyers agent, what I like about you, and I know this for a fact, that you're a buyer's agent who has walked the walk and just not talked the talk or the way. Yeah, I've stuffed that up. But you guys kind of know what I'm saying, right?
Come with a bit of experience.
Yeah, but there are agents out there, and this is probably a buyer's aware thing, and I don't want to scare you guys off, and you might be sort of saying, well, what is a buyer's agent? And we'll definitely cover that in a second. But there are buyer's agents out there at the moment who have never bought a property in their life, and they're saying they're a buyer's agent. Like, why would someone do that? I mean, so I guess when you're finding an agent, you really want to do your homework and make sure that they've got experience.
Well, that's right. I would choose an agent that has, one, built a property portfolio up themselves, because it's in that process that you learn each step and each stage. You hone your negotiating skills as well, and especially if they've built a portfolio across multiple areas, and it could be residential, commercial, and your industrial as well. So, and not only that, they know the emotions that you go through, because it's such quite a large purchase. It can also be a little bit scary and overwhelming, and at times daunting and stressful. So with a buyer's agent that has experience in that and has done it themselves, they know what you go through. So they can also then be the person that you can lean on as well, and do a little bit of hand holding and just a little bit of reassurance, as well as let you know the pitfalls that can happen, so you sort of you don't make the mistakes they have. So you actually build your portfolio up quite quicker. You can save up to 10 years if you get an experienced person, and it's a lot easier as well. Plus, they also come with a team of experts that I do, and one of them being gorgeous Nathan.
So that pretty much describes, I guess, what a buyer's agent is. Probably adding on to that as well, like, it's just not anyone can be. I couldn't buy property, could I? Because you got to be licensed.
Yeah, that's right. We're all got full real estate licenses. So the term buyer's agents really is, we act for the purchasers. So you've got the other real estate agents, which they have the same license as we do. They act for the seller. That's how they get their money. And we act for the buyer. So we sit down with the buyer, we get their brief, and we actually go out and do the hard work for them. Yeah.
And I guess another thing that I know about you as well is, like, because there's so much emotion in buying something that's of such a substantial value, you've actually gone into as well, like, a lot of training with wealth mindset coaching, haven't you? Like,
I have. I saw, especially with COVID, a lot of my clients were fearful, and people were losing their jobs. They didn't know if they could keep their income up. So I found a need that just you look at your money patterns and your upbringing, your surrounding influences. We cover everything. So before you even in some cases buy your first property, especially your investment property, you need a certain mindset, because there is going to be some, as you know, when you set goals, it's not always straight ahead. It can divert left to right. Sometimes you can go backwards. So it takes a little bit of resilience. And once you have a mindset of abundance, and that you can do whatever you like and attract whatever wealth you want, you attract it as well. So you take your actions, you work consistently on your mindset, and that I've found has been a big benefit. As one of my clients thought they would never ever buy a family home, have now set a 7-year plan to buy multiple millions of dollars in investment properties. And that's what I love about combining the mindset work as well as the buyer's agency together.
Yeah. So, like, I guess for someone out there who is at this stage where they actually are going to get into property and invest their money, I guess, what's the advantages of buying with a buyer's agent?
The advantages are, as I said previously, we know the pitfalls. We've been there. We look at property all day, every day, because for myself, that's my passion. So, and we're sort of forever networking and meeting people and finding what the latest things are on the market, researching them. So when you hire someone like myself, you save time too. It's the time factor, it's the stress factor. You can then focus instead of spending, every Saturday looking at properties, or at night time you're on the computer. You've got someone like me that I'll do that. We sit down and work out what your brief is, what your expectations are, and then we actually formulate, what's in your price range, and I go and do the hard work, really.
Yeah. And then, I guess, with your clients as well, like, you know what they've bought and what's in their portfolios, if they're a full-service client. Do you also then tend to look at going, well, it's now time to exit?
Well, I like all my clients to have, I do like 7-year plans, and I like them to think about the entry, why they're buying each property, how they're structuring it. That's when you come in handy. And then it's also the purpose of it. What is your strategy with that property? What do you intend to do? Do you want to force some equity by doing some renovations? Do you want a subdivision? Do you want to knock down and develop later on? We go through everything, as well as we look at, do you want residential? Do you want commercial? Do you want industrial as well? Because every property has to have a reason why you buy it. It has to fit into your portfolio. And then you look at how long, your exit strategy. You look at how long do you want to keep it, and especially if it's high growth you want. Okay, you maybe can sell that off quicker. And also, if you're heading towards retirement as well, is it you want to keep the higher cash flow properties and you'll sell off the ones that have had the equity to pay them down? They all have to have a story, and they have to sort of fit together as a puzzle.
Yeah, no, that's good to know. Another thing that I've sort of also, been a big fan of is, like, I know when I bought my property, I used a buyer's agent to help me, a local real estate agent to help me buy my home. And, I guess the money we save there by not buying the wrong property, probably definitely, because I remember even saying to Michael, like, hey, look, I've got this address out here at Carringbar South, and, here it is. And he's like, look, you know what? Don't buy that one. I sold that 4 years ago. And he goes, was it all damp on the ground? I'm like, yeah, funny enough, it was. He's like, yeah, there's like a natural waterway going right through that property.
Oh, no.
Yeah. You know what? Like, you imagine how much I would have spent having to sell that, or, fixing it up. And it wasn't just, on the sale, on the purchase of the property itself, like the actual price. But that probably leads me into my next question, going, well, I mean, if someone is wanting to sort of use a buyer's agent, can they use them for their family home, or is it just got to be just purely investment properties? Like, and every agent's probably different. And
So I personally can do anything, as I said before, residential, commercial, or industrial. So you can do it for your family home. That's not a problem as well. That's a far more specific sort of search, because it's your emotions, and you've got to look at whether you want a 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom plus. Then I talk to them also about what's their plans for the future. Are they going to keep it for 5 years or 10 years? Are they going to have kids? How many kids are they looking at having? So how many bathrooms and how many bedrooms you need? And then you've also got to look at, would they want to extend it as well? Do they want to go up? You've got to look at, so if they say, okay, I want it to be 10, 15 years, it's got to allow the family to grow, and the house sometimes has to grow with the family as well.
Yeah, because I mean, like, changing properties you couldn't change properties every 5 years. You'd be funding the state government.
It's very expensive.
Stamp duty.
So, if you buy a little bit bigger or something with potential, then you can stay there longer. You avoid your selling costs, your new purchase costs too.
Yeah.
Which is generally like 5% of your purchase price. So that all adds up. So sometimes it's better to sort of have, you may buy the little bit of the ugly duckling or something with potential, but you can stay there for at least 10 years.
Yeah, yeah. And tell me also, another question, residential versus commercial. Why would someone go buy a commercial property?
Okay. Well, with commercial, there is all kinds of strategies you can use, and I'll give you an example if you'd like.
Yeah, please.
Okay, there was 2-story commercial building. It was leased to a national tenant, which is great tenancy, cash flow positive. It had also storage at the back, so there was 4 garages at the back that they were used to store their products. It was a showroom down the bottom with offices upstairs. The beauty of that one was, had they moved out, it could have been sliced and diced, as I say, and that is you turn the lower floor, could have been turned into 2 smaller lettings, which would have been 2 tenants. Upstairs had external staircase, so that could have been sublet out to at least another 2 tenants. So that would have turned it into 4 tenancies at the front. The storage units, the garages at the back, they could have had walls put up and they could have been done as storage. So that could have been another 4. So it could have gone from 1 to, say, 8 tenants. It also had the potential to knock down those garages at the back and actually build another premises, because it was a it was a block on a corner. I had a side entrance. So I look at how, if a tenant moves out, what's your options? And I always like to look at value add strategies as well. Could be as simple as an ATM machine, etc. Storage cages. You've got to look at how you can force that extra equity, that extra rent, and because when you increase your rent with commercial, that increases the value of the property as well. So that's what you want to do, so you can keep building a portfolio. Even simple signage can bring in substantial money.
Yeah, I mean, and that probably, I know that, when I've looked at property and I have a lot of clients that come to us with investment properties, and, a question I get quite common is, that's okay because it's negatively geared. And it's like, well, okay, wouldn't you rather have a property that's actually making you money, so positively geared, and then pay a bit of tax? Because I'm telling you right now, if you had a property that makes $10,000 cash, and we've got to give 30% of it to the ATO, okay, that's $3,000. But if it's around the other way and you've lost 10, well, sure, the ATO will give you a refund of $3,000, but you just also lost 7. So what would you rather have in your pocket, 3 or 7?
And when you go negative geared, you're also relying really heavily on growth. Now, some areas, if you buy correctly, yes, you will get good growth. If you buy incorrectly, some areas will decline. So not only you're losing money because you've got to top up your mortgage, it may not grow substantially as well. And even in quite affluential suburbs, they don't always have great growth. So you've got to be careful of, research, due diligence. Infrastructure spending is so important when you sort of get together your report on a property.
Yeah, I think I think everyone has this story or this experience with property, and when it comes to investment properties, I just remember my dad when I was younger, I think it was the 90s, right? And he bought this unit over in Wiley Park, and he had the choice between this property in Wiley Park or a unit in Cronulla, which was he used to say you couldn't swing a cat in it. It was that small. And now he does shoot himself in the foot now because he wished he bought that apartment in Cronulla.
No.
But he used that line of, but property always goes up.
Yeah, no.
And no, he discovered that. I think he had it for 10 years, and it went up like $10,000, $1,000 a year. It went nowhere. But
they do. It's not area increases. It's just, I've heard a lot of stories just recently about they're actually selling for a loss. They've had some not great advice, or they haven't done their due diligence properly or detailed enough. And I think the most important message when you're investing is it's not a rush. You don't need to rush it. You need to plan it. You need to research it. Just because you've got a deposit and you can borrow X amount from the bank doesn't mean I've got to buy one in the next month.
Yeah.
It's better to take, say, a few months, even up to 6 months, buy the right one, because that right one will keep giving you in returns, keep giving you in equity growth, rather than make a mistake, because that one mistake, that sets you back years. And sometimes there's clients I've got that they can't even sell it, because to sell it, they've got to put money in because they can't sell it for their mortgage repayments, and they don't have that cash. So not only are they stuck, they can't move forward either.
And that probably leads to, what Diane's done is that she's been probably a little bit different to a lot of other of your competition, but you've actually developed a team around you. You've got, I know I'm on your team as an accountant. You've got
Chris is the mortgage broker as well. Andy's the quantity surveyor as well. We've got a whole team, so if you come and you don't have anyone, you don't know the professionals you need, I can refer you out to whoever you need. And they've all been interviewed. I know them all personally, so they're all very reputable.
Yeah, and that having that team there is so important, because that's what's actually going to eliminate, or at least reduce things that are going to go wrong. And like when we're talking mega dollars here to buy a property, like it's just not like going down the shops to buy some flowers. I mean, if you buy some flowers and they fall over and they're dead after a day, well, okay, I lost $50, right? But like if you buy a property and it's costing you $400,000 or $500,000, and you bought a dud that hasn't gone anywhere in 10 years, almost like my dad with that unit. Like imagine if he had a team around him, he could have bought that property in Cronulla, and
it cuts down your risk.
Yeah.
It speeds up your time, and it also alleviates a little bit of that stress or that anxiety you may have that, I don't know an accountant that specialises in this. I don't know a quantity surveyor. And it's just one less thing you have to do, really. You don't have to go around trying to interview them to see if you've got a good relationship.
Yeah, no, that's right. Because I guess you only know what you know. And see, the other thing as well is a lot of people actually quite time poor. You go to work, and then you've got the family commitments, and then, all these other bits and pieces that come into play, and then also you've got to find time to build your wealth.
It's another thing you have to do. Yeah, and that's it. And that's where a lot of people then, they don't take that step. Yeah. Or they get analysis paralysis, and because they don't, especially if you're in a circle, isn't doing what you're doing, and you haven't seen anyone want to buy investment properties or even properties in some cases, it can be quite lonely, and they don't know where to go, and there's so many different products out there when it comes to real estate. You don't know what it makes a great investment. So that's where a buyer's agent comes in, because we have experience, and we basically give you time back.
Yeah.
Like, you can focus on your career, your business, your family, your loved ones, your socialising, and it cuts down. I know I've had people come to me been looking for 12 months, and then also they don't have the contacts.
Yeah.
Like, I can get off-market properties, I can get pre-market properties, because I've networked and I've got real estate agents that I know that will come to me, and I can be the first person through a house. They might have an open house for buyers agents or potential buyers, but I do stipulate that I need to be first through, and I need to have a bit of time between the viewing, so I get back to my customer so they can get a yes or a no, so we can have first option in.
Yeah. That's so true. You're talking about, a typical client who's looking for a year. They're confused, they're stressed, they're worried, don't know what to do.
That's it, and you hear so many different. Everyone's an expert when it comes to property. Susie next door and Tom down the road. Everyone knows, and everyone has a story. Like your dad's got a story, and then some people have been burnt because they bought the wrong one. Oh, you never buy it again. So I help my clients with the mindset part, not to absorb all that. But they know, they're informed, they know what they want, they've got their plan, they know their strategies for each property, so they don't get to the negative side. And as they progress and build it, they see wonderful growth and returns and that, and then their confidence is up, and it just steamrolls from there.
Yeah. Well, that's some really good insight today. Like just hearing about property, and I know that I'm pumped, and I bet that if you're watching, you're pumped. So if you're feeling pumped and you want to get in touch with Diane, where can we find you? How can we reach out to you?
Okay, you could send me an email, and that's Diane, Diane, at goodpropertygroup.com.au, and Good's got an E, so it's Goode, propertygroup.com.au. You can find me on LinkedIn, Diane Klem-Goode, and on Facebook as well. And I'd love to have you all part of my Wildly Wealthy Facebook group, because it's a group of people moving ahead, positive attitude to build wealth, where I share information as well.
And even after all that, you can't find Diane, you just get in touch with me, and I'll put you in touch. And actually, we'll leave underneath the comments in this YouTube video, just Diane's details. So, hey, well, that was awesome, Diane. Thank you for coming along today, giving us all your knowledge and sharing a bit of your time. So we really appreciate it.
And thank you.
Okay.
It was fun.
It was. All right, we'll see you all next time.
Bye.
See you guys.